Hola chicos, in this video I'm going to talk about reciprocal reflexives. Now I'm going to try to keep this simple. If we look over here, we can see that we have Luis. Now Luis is looking in the mirror and Luis is looking at Luis, right? He is the one that is performing this action and he is the one receiving this action, right? He's the one that's looking, he's the one that's being looked at. The same thing is happening here with Marta. Marta is doing the looking and she's also being looked at by her. She's the subject and the object. That's reflexive. Now, how a reciprocal reflexive is different is that we still have Luis looking over here at Marta, and we've got Marta looking over here at Luis. So they are looking at each other. That's what a reciprocal reflexive is when they're doing this to each other. They could be some real common uses of this, or common verbs to go with it. Or over here on the right, you see abrazar, ayudar, besar, encontrar, saludar. These verbs mean to, these are common to use with one another, right? To hug each other, to help each other, to kiss each other, to meet each other, to greet each other. So those verbs are used often. Now, in the reflexive verbs, when Luis is looking at himself, that's singular. When Martha is looking at herself, that's singular. When they are looking at themselves, that's plural. But when they are looking at each other, when you are hugging each other, when you are helping or kissing or meeting or greeting, if you're doing any of those with each other, those are always plural. So there is not going to be a singular form to this. And that is why we've got right here, we've got that nos, os, and se right there. That's because those are the only object pronouns that are used with this, because they're only going to have a reciprocal reflexive if we have more than one person. So because, if we have any reciprocity, it'll be because they're being performed between at least two people, right? If they are looking at each other, or if they are helping each other, we need one person to help one person, and that same person who's getting helped to help the other person. So they need to, again, have reciprocity, needing more than one person. So these are only going to be used in nosotros, vosotros, and the third person plural. So it could be ellos, it could be ustedes, or ellas. So here are a couple of examples, and I'll look at this first one here. Cuando nos vimos en la calle, nos abrazamos. We've got two reciprocal reflexives here. Nos vimos, we saw each other. And this is in the first person, but first person plural. Nos vimos, this is we saw each other. So maybe it's me and one other person. I saw that person saw me. I didn't see myself, they didn't see themselves, we saw each other. I'm the one that I saw them, they saw me. We have a reciprocal reflexive. Same thing with hugging, we hugged each other. I hugged that person. I didn't hug myself, I hugged that person hugged me. We have reciprocity, so reciprocal reflexive. And notice where nos goes, it goes before the conjugated verb. And this one, it's right here, before vimos, right there, before vimos. But we didn't have any other option here. We didn't have an infinitive, we didn't have a present participle, so that's where it had to go. And actually that's the case for three of these. Right here, got that nos, we've got this nos, and we've got se and se. Those are, there's no other option because we only have a conjugated verb. But if you look at that last one remaining, I'll blow this up. Oh, that didn't work. Sorry. Bear with me here. So right here, we've got se van a encontrar. It is before the conjugated verb. It's not before encontrar. It's before the conjugated verb, which is van. Encontrar is our reflexive verb. Our verb of reciprocity. So in the other examples, we put the object nos or se before the conjugated verb, before that verb. But here we have our conjugated verb is actually van. Encontrar is the infinitive. So our rule is we put it before a conjugated verb, or we can also we could attach it to the end of encontrar. That's a terrible arrow, but sorry. That is, you could also say ustedes van a encontrarse. Encontrarse together. You could attach it to the infinitive there. But most time you will just put it before the conjugated verb. And you can't go wrong when you put it before a conjugated verb. Just make sure you put it before the van in this one, and you can't put it before encontrar. That would not work. Okay, so there, I don't think it's a real complicated concept. I maybe made it more complicated than it had to be, but I did want to give you a decent explanation of what this actually is.